Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with BNEWS producer Sydney Bowles, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, Ferris Conley, and Carter Ames, Peter Brown with the weather, and Gretchen Carey with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us. Excuse me. We begin this week with exciting news from the entertainment world. The family-friendly Flip Circus is coming to Burlington this September, complete with acrobats, clowns, jugglers, and performing artists from all around the world. The traveling circus has been on a New England tour of late, with stops in North Attleboro, Hyannis, and Auburn, as well as stops in Connecticut and New Hampshire. The circus has said it will give out tickets to local nonprofits so low-income families can enjoy the show as well. Of the 836-seat venue, 150 seats will go to nonprofits each night. The show will run from September 6th through September 17th. For tickets and more information, visit flipcircus.com. Now to the important office of town clerk, where our long-serving clerk, Amy Warfield, has announced she's retiring in 2025. Here in Burlington, the clerk position is elected, as you know, but as the town grows and becomes more complex, officials are exploring the possibility of turning the position into an appointed role. As part of that process, the committee in charge of looking at evidence for this heard this week from Julie Brazil, the town clerk in nearby Arlington. Brazil was elected, but she asked the town to make her own job an appointed one. Arlington Town Meeting approved a warrant article to put it to voters in a local ballot initiative, and this spring about 67% of Arlington voters said yes. Burlington resident Elliot Tchaikovsky is a member of the Town Clerk Committee, and he shared his thoughts on Julie Brazil's position.
They've just recently made the decision to go to an appointed town clerk position instead of the elected. It was very interesting to hear the reasons, the rationales, some of the politics, their experience with the previous clerk and so forth. These days, the town clerk's position as an administrative area for all of us has become so technical, so precise of things that have to happen.
Tchaikovsky said the goal of the committee isn't necessarily to decide what the best course of action might be.
But the goal of this committee is to make sure that we gather the information together so it'll be available to the select board, then to town meeting, then to the voters. Town meeting would be asked, if this goes forward, to make the decision of whether to put it on the ballot for the voters to decide. And the town meeting members will need certain kinds of information to be confident in whatever decision they make on that. And if it goes to the voters will need certain kinds of information. But a committee like this, we have the ability to look at a lot of the detail that then might have to be summarized in different ways so the voters can realize what's out there and what information is available to them, and then they can choose to look at the detail or not as they see fit.
Key arguments in favor of the change are that as the clerk's job becomes more complex, Burlington residents who run for the office might not be qualified for the role, and that an appointed officer would be more accountable to the town. Arguments against the change are that an appointed officer might be susceptible to pressure from town government and might not have the background to understand Burlington right away. Warfield brought a warrant article to town meeting in May for members to begin thinking about the issue. That article is expected to appear on September's warrant as well. A local cigar shop has been penalized after selling to someone under 21 during a Board of Health inspection. The shop, Cigars and More at 64 Middlesex Turnpike, incurred a $1,000 fine and lost its license to sell tobacco for 3 days. A representative for the shop said the employee who made the mistake was in her first week on the job and had been fired, and that they took the infraction seriously. It's been more than a year since that the Burlington Public Schools has been working with Dr. Kateri Thunder to update our math curriculum. Now the district is ready to begin implementing the changes as a result of their curriculum review. One major change on the horizon, offering Algebra 1 in 8th grade. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Lisa Chen spoke with Dr. Thunder in her show Journey to Cares. Here they are on the subject.
I found one, the greatest thing, which is the most impressive, powerful, rich resource that everyone talked about having in Burlington are the educators, and that is so true. Every space that I went into, the relationships, the interactions were positive and intentional, and so building on that is really the space that I love to work, and I get to do that with Burlington, is really empowering and leveraging all that brilliance. So some of the findings with the math curriculum is trying to figure out how do we make it cohesive? How do we make sure that there's an alignment from pre-K through 12? We created as a team the math curriculum belief statement to say what is it that we want for our learners when they finish Burlington Public Schools, and then how do we make that happen every step of the way from pre-K through 12th grade.
Anyone with young kids in the family are probably familiar with Bluey, the titular blue dog in the popular children's show. Well, this canine celebrity made an appearance recently at the Burlington Mall, and Veris Conley and Carter Ames have the story.
Tucked away in the back of the camp store, the Burlington Mall is an immersive experience unlike any other. The hit animated cartoon Bluey has found its way into the real world with its fun, explorative event. The store's secret back room has been transformed into the family home from the show, and guests are invited to come in and explore the different areas of the house. But what goes on into planning an event like this?
Well, we at camp formed a partnership with the BBC and Ludo to present an immersive experience on Bluey, which we're very fortunate to be partnering with them on, and we at camp worked with them for about 6 months putting together the script and the design. Then we built it, and then we executed it. It's a lot of work on a lot of different people's parts. We at camp design it along with Ludo and the BBC. Camp is a family experience company, and we like people to come to camp to have experiences with grown-ups and kids alike.
It is a lot of preparation. We pretty much get prepared for any outcome because we get to work with kids and we have no idea what's going to happen once we enter Australia. Each kid that comes through, we want to connect to them and connect to their family and provide a space for them to play. And then my hope is that playing here at camp allows kids to take that sense of play into their homes and have their grown-ups play along.
Well, it's been really awesome working over here. We went into rehearsals with each other, and it was really great meeting each other and working with each other because everybody is just so fun naturally. So putting on this show has been so easy, I guess, for us because we all get along, and that's my favorite part of it. I hope that kids get to play with their parents and kids have a bunch of fun. I hope that their grown-ups are having an amazing time as well.
I guess they can teach an old dog new tricks. This is Carter Ames for BNEWS.
So what are we doing?
I hope you took our advice last week and went to see Matilda Jr. at the Fogelberg Auditorium. That was this season's production from the Burlington Educational Summer Theater, or BEST. But did you know this year was Beth's 15th year? Robert Harris has more.
The Burlington Educational Summer Theater is celebrating its 15th season. Performing arts director John Middleton Cox has been here since the beginning of it and talked about the origin of the idea.
We wound up had about 10 high school students who were interested, and we had, 40 elementary students or so, and we wound up doing the musical Annie. And the high school kids played the adults, and the younger kids played the orphans, and we had a great production with real dogs and everything, and that was in 2009.
The program is also a way to get kids engaged in performing arts.
There's two main things that really we strive to do at best, and that is we want a student to be able to not only do their best, but to be better than they even thought they could. And I'd really love to see that success and achievement when the student is surprised at how good this came out. Like, they didn't even know it could be that good. Like, that's one of the most rewarding things. And the other thing is just to have a real positive experience. There's a lot of different teachers and productions and camps and everything, but we want to be positive and constructive and nurture the students in a healthy way. So that's something we really strive to do, and the camaraderie, and the high school counselors do an amazing job of keeping theater games, and the kids have these lunchtime shows they put on for each other, and there's so much tradition now that we've weaved into this.
I did ask John what his favorite best performance was. There were too many to count.
Well, that's tough. I know, of course, The Lion King was magical because it had just been released. The junior version of The Lion King really was a magical time. And, of course, the costumes and the animals coming to life. That's a tough one to beat. And I've been lucky enough to have my children in the productions. My son Glenn was started off in the first production of Annie, was in every year. So that, as a parent, has been really exciting and nervous to see your own child. And now this year, my son Aiden is in his first main stage production of Matilda. He was in the workshop a couple of years ago, and now he's in Matilda, so that gives me a little extra bias on which shows I like and get more excited about, of course, as a parent. We've started to repeat the shows because, after 15 years, there's some great ones that some of the students haven't had a chance to do yet, and so it's great to be able to recycle a little bit and redo some of the shows in a different way with a different cast.
Congratulations, Best. We hope you continue the success for many years to come. From the music department at Burlington High School, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Don't you think Burlington always looks colorful in the summer? That's in no small part to the gardeners who bring all kinds of flowers to our public spaces. I took a moment to speak with the people behind the garden club. Let's take a look. Welcome to the Burlington Library. My guests today are the co-presidents of the Burlington Garden Club, Jane Boyven and Karen Oakes. So let's start with the general mission statement of the Garden Club.
We try to educate people about gardening and native gardening, and we try to inspire people to be more familiar with their surroundings and plant more and be aware of climate change. We go into the nursing homes and we go into assisted living and we do garden therapy.
Making really things cool. Prettier too, so tell us about the planter program. If Tad could get those shots from in front of two beautiful planters up here. This is only two of many. Tell us what we're doing there.
So the planter program is something that we've been doing for many years, and we plant and then water the planters on the common. So if you're going by the common, any planter that you see there has been worked on by the Garden Club.
Well, let's talk about membership. How can you become a member? And it's not too daunting a membership fee, is it?
No, it isn't. It's $35 a year.
You have a scholarship program?
We do. That's a $500 scholarship, and it's not limited to Burlington High School. It's for anybody living in Burlington.
We also donate to the Burlington Science Center. Wendy Pavlicek does a great job teaching the younger children about gardening and soil and plants. Right. And she does a program every year.
Okay, I want to thank our guests, Karen Oakes and Jane Boyven, co-presidents of the Burlington Garden Club, and you can find them on Facebook, and you can find a membership application there as well. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
From flowers to food, this is the time of year of abundance. Tad Stefanak takes us back to the Burlington Community Garden to check in on this local gem.
So it's the middle of the summer, middle of July, hottest part of the year, and this is the time of the year, because it's so hot, you don't want to be outside, but unfortunately this is the time that's critical for you to be out in the garden. One of the problems is a lot of weeds. People get confused with how to weed. They want to go out, they don't want to pull the weeds by hand, so they mistakenly use a cultivator as opposed to a hoe. This is a hoe, and you saw me sharpening. This has a nice knife blade on it, and this is a cultivator, which is just like a cultivating fork, but with the blades bent sideways. The difference is that the hoe scrapes the soil and it breaks the crown of the weeds, separating it from the roots, and the weeds die. Whereas the cultivator is used to loosen up soil. Say soil where it dried out and you're trying to water and the water just runs off. So what you need to do is break that tension up in the soil by loosening it up, and you use a cultivator. Then we need to talk about the insects and bugs that are damaging our crops in the garden. So right now you have Japanese beetles chewing up the leaves and the plants. We have aphid eggs that have been hatching on leaves of plants. Cucumber beetles lay their eggs on the cucumbers, and unfortunately they eat weeds that are infected with a bacteria, and then they carry that bacteria to the cucumbers, and the plant dies from the bacteria. Then you have the Mexican bean beetles. They lay their eggs on the bean plants, and their larvae eat the bean. Then you have the squash beetles. They lay their eggs on squash plants, and unlike the cucumber beetle, their bacteria is in their gut, so they come pre-poisoned. So when they eat your squash plants, the bacteria gets into the squash plant and it kills the plant. So now is the time to go out and look around and see if that's going on, and if so, you need to start making some decisions about what you're going to do. In the case of the community garden, we're just too big to try to address the insect problem picking the bugs by hand, so we're forced to spray. And what we do is a simple mix of neem oil, which is 100% organic, liquid dish detergent, which is phosphate-free, and ammonia. You have your insecticide. This is an agent that breaks down the water molecules so that they don't just bead up on the plant, they actually coat the plant. And the ammonia is a very mild fungicide. So I mix up in a gallon of water, shake it all up, and then go out and spray. Just keep in mind is if you do that weeding with the hoe and keep the weeds down, that's going to also reduce the amount of problems. But if it just gets out of hand, do this, and you'll end up enjoying the garden better, and you may even stay picking vegetables right into the fall.
Aspiring Red Devil athletes built skills and had fun at this year's football clinic. Robert Paris has the story.
With school around the corner, the Junior Devils football coaching staff organized a clinic at Varsity Field for students in grades 5 through 9 to up the Devils' game. I spoke with head coach of the middle school team, Tim Vadnais.
It's just trying to get kids out of the house during the summer, playing football, getting ready for our season coming up, getting ready for football period, depending, because we do have some kids that signed up from other towns that we allowed to come over here, but majority of kids are from Burlington. Meeting new kids that are interested in football but maybe didn't sign up, the parents a little bit worried, having them get out here and learn the basics from all of our coaches and just have fun for 2 days.
The groups are split into 2 sessions, with the younger group learning the basics and the older group improving their skills.
So we have a 6th grade group, and that group is fundamentals only, meaning we're teaching them how to actually warm up. We're teaching them how to tie their shoes a little bit. We're teaching them how to, run and run with their cleats on and get used to sort of being on a football field. And then when we get into the older group, that's more of a sort of prep. A lot of these kids are returners or kids that have played a number of other sports a number of years. So we'll sort of accelerate the basics and start adding in stuff like route tree stuff, kids learning actually how to run correct routes and break off and catch the ball and get upfield, how to hold the football, how to get a football, and then obviously again back to blocking. It's big what we do, and our offensive line coaches will really work hard on them hitting the bags, but it's all fundamentals right now. So
our 2023 Minutemen champions are gearing up for their return to the MSMS Brush Field in mid-September.
I feel like everybody's going to be gunning for us a little bit this year, but we'll be ready. I think we're coming back with a really good group, and we'll put our best foot forward like always.
A number of the athletes from the high school volunteered their time to help out at the clinic.
This is a great event. There's a ton of kids, some big kids. They look like they're ready for high school football. Great off season though so far. It flew by. That's one thing I'll say. But I'm excited for this clinic. This should be fun. See how these guys can play and how we can develop them for the future.
It really develops these guys. It makes them better in high school and with their own teams. And I just love helping out, getting back with the program and just raising them up for high school.
Both my brothers play football, and I think this is really good for them to get them going, getting ready for high school. Just want to say that they're working hard, but so is the high school, and I think we got something really great going this year.
Just helping out, coaching these younger guys, getting them ready for the middle school season and then the transition into high school.
It's a big step coming from the middle school to the high school, playing football. You know, it's the whole environment, the coaching staff and your teammates, just getting to know each other and, you know, just getting ready for the big, you know, getting the big step.
The game is not about winning, but having fun playing the sport out on the field with your teammates.
This is fun. This is really a fun game. I'm meeting some new friends. I can't wait to go play with them later when we can actually get in the pads and tackle and hit, because that's all these kids want to do. You know, have some fun, meet some new friends, and just enjoy the game.
From Varsity Field, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Sports.
The companies in Burlington's life science community are always working on big things, and this time it's Millipore Sigma announcing some big progress. The local firm is collaborating on an mRNA vaccine technology platform that aims to scale up vaccine production locally and nationally. You can find more at the Millipore website. People Helping People's Sizzling Summer Raffle is back. This time there are 5 cash prizes of $150 and a grand prize of $750. Raffle tickets go for $10 each, can be purchased on the food pantry's website, peoplehelpingpeople.org, peoplehelpingpeopleinc.org. Thank you. All proceeds go towards supporting the general operations of the food pantry, and the winners will be drawn live on BCAT on Wednesday, August 28th. Get your tickets now. We're continuing our series, introducing you to the new artwork at the Burlington Sculpture Park. This week, we're getting to know one of the largest pieces the park has ever held.
This sculpture is called Standing Stella on His Head. It is done by R. Douglas Rice. What's interesting about this piece, the artist told us that all the pieces were cut from one single piece of steel. So they were concentric squares, and then he cut all of the distant squares out and rearranged them in this sort of upside down composition. And it was inspired by a very famous artist, Frank Stella, which is where the name came from, Standing Stella on its Head. He was inspired by the art of Frank Stella, but he gave it a different twist. He sort of turned it upside down in his view, and that's where the name comes from.
Marge Yetman and her team at the Burlington Senior Center always jam-pack each month with exciting programming. And one event coming up in August is a chance to learn to play the ukulele. Here she is talking about it with our producer, Sydney Bowles.
I think for those who aren't super familiar with like stringed instruments, it can seem intimidating, but I'll tell you, ukulele, it's the fingering is easier, it's a smaller size. I really think it's a really approachable like entryway and like easier to learn. Like,
well, and it's small, right? So it's not like you're having to hold something that's really large that is going to be too heavy for you, right? You're not worrying about the heft of the instrument, you're only worrying about learning the chords.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to worry about.
Having fun with it.
Yeah.
That event is scheduled for Tuesday, August 6th at 1 o'clock. Now let's turn to Peter Brown for a look at the weather, and stay tuned for your community calendar with Gretchen Carey.
Well, hello everyone, this is Peter Brown with a look at the weather for the next 7 days. Here we are heading in towards the first full week of August. I know it's hard to believe that we are 2/3 of the way through meteorological summer and only a couple of weeks away from actually Labor Day, if you can believe it. Now, as we start our period on Friday, we're going to be seeing those temperatures are going to be staying where they've been over the past couple of weeks or so. Pretty warm out there, humid, temperatures up near 90. And as we round out the period getting in towards next Thursday, when our highs again should be in the mid-80s, looks like we're going to be seeing temperatures kind of warm as we end out the period. Looks like it's going to be pretty nice during the start of the work week, but looks like that heat is going to come back in as we get towards next Thursday. And of course, as we head further through the summer and into August now, you're definitely starting to notice it's much darker in the morning when you're waking up now, and the sun is definitely noticeably going down earlier now. In fact, in a couple of days, our sun will be setting before 8 p.m., and we will not be seeing those sunsets after 8 o'clock until we get again till next May. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us in terms of temperatures and precipitation for the next 7 to 10 days. Looking at a temperature map, nothing new here. Pretty average for what we've been seeing pretty much most of this summer. We're going to be seeing temperatures above average. Looking at our precipitation chances, they're looking like we're going to be having near normal precipitation. So no big chances of any big rain events. Doesn't look like the tropics are going to be paying any visits to us, so it doesn't look like we're going to be worrying about any tropical storms or hurricanes coming this way, as this is the time of the year when we here in southern New England have to start taking a look at what's going down in the Caribbean and off the coast of Africa. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up. And again, starting out a period on Friday, starting out your weekend there, it is going to be sunny skies out there. Temperatures very warm in the low 90s. Now, as we get in towards the weekend, this is something we've seen quite a bit of this summer. We're going to see those shower chances coming in, some unsettled weather. Staying kind of humid out there, temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. And then as we head back to work on Monday, it looks like our temperatures are going to start to come down a little bit. Those showers are going to still be around on Monday. Temperatures going down to the mid 80s, and then as we get into Tuesday's going to be a beautiful day out there. Sunny skies out there, temperatures in the low 80s with a cool northerly breeze. Thereafter those, we get in towards Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to see that humid flow come back up into the New England area with temperatures getting up into the mid 80s to near 90 as we round out the period on Thursday. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
Hi, I'm Amy Poehler, and you're watching BCAT. Go Red Devils!
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your community calendar. On August 7th from 5 to 7 p.m., the Burlington Police and Fire Department will be having Community Safety Night at the Wegmans parking garage on 3rd Avenue. On August 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Burlington Police Department will be having child car seat checks at 3 Great Meadow Road. For more information, call 781-272-1212. On August 14th and 15th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., the Burlington Police Department will be having Safety Town. For more information and to register, go to the following website. For more community calendar events, go to bcattv.org, burlingtonpubliclibrary.org, and burlingtonrecreation.org. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your community calendar.
And as we do each week, we're finishing up with a photo sent in by a member of the community. Mike Espeo sent in this image of Simons Park at sunset. Thank you, Mike. We'd love to share your photos from life around town. Email them to us at bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. That's our program for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, Celebrate Burlington is this weekend from 11 to 4, so stop by on the Town Common for all kinds of fun, food and entertainment, and later fireworks. And one more reminder for a great event, August 7th is Safety Night, a great chance for kids of all ages to learn about public safety and meet and greet with the cops and firefighters. That's August 7th at Wegmans. I'm Phil Gallagher, this is BNEWS Weekly, and I'll see you back here next week. Thank you for joining us.